The moment I opened the door to our bedroom, I screamed. There was my husband and a strange woman naked. They were obviously having an affair. Shut up, you ugly bitch. There is no way I'll ever be satisfied with an old woman like you. Girls I hook up with should be pretty, you know. And by the way, she's pregnant, so I'm done with you. You can leave now. My husband, who had been caught cheating on his wife, didn't feel remorse. He insulted me for my looks. The kind husband who used to tell me that I was beautiful inside and out was gone. I left the house without the strength to talk back. My name is Maya. I am 32 years old and work for a temp agency. I've been with the company for more than 10 years and have a good reputation within the company. I am proud of the fact that I have helped many job seekers. I make good money and have recently started living in a tower condo. It seems like my life is smooth sailing. But I have a big problem. I tend to carry around a lot of stress from work. I love to drink and often stop by my favorite bar after work. There, the bartender would listen to my complaints about my work, so I was dealing with a very annoying job seeker the other day. He had no will of his own and left everything to me. That must have been tough, Lazaro remarked. Even if they leave it to you, they still have to find a position that they are satisfied with. You've dealt with people like that in the past, right? Lazaro asked sympathetically. Well, I can understand they might feel uneasy during the job hunting process. I am able to draw out their strength and aptitude, but that doesn't always lead to what they want. And that's why this job is tiring. Going to a bar like this helps relieve some of the stress. And after I got home, I ordered a bunch of food from Uber Eats. I spend my days like this, relieving my stress before going to bed each night. That's why I have been gaining weight lately, but I had to let it go to keep working. Then one day, I was having a drink at the same bar as usual. A man entered the bar and approached me. May I sit next to you? He smiled and sat down next to me. Oh sure, go ahead. He was a handsome man with a slim figure in contrast to me. Hi, Lazaro. Good to see you. I said, thank you. Can I have whiskey, please? Straight? I confirmed. Sure. Just a moment. He seemed to be a regular customer of this bar and was good with alcohol. After sipping whiskey, he introduced himself. Nice to meet you. I'm Lazaro. I'd like to have a drink with you if you don't mind. I replied, no, sure. Nice to meet you too. I'm Maya. We immediately became comfortable with each other. From there, we talked about our favorite drinks and hobbies for about an hour. Lazaro and I became friends. We met a few times at the bar, and we started dating. I was the one who asked him to marry me, and Lazaro accepted me as I was, without worrying about my age or my appearance. Lazaro was only 25, but I was already past 30. I didn't want to delay marriage any longer. I was very nervous about proposing, but I did my best to tell him my feelings for him. Of course, I'll marry you. Thank you for choosing me. Lazaro accepted with a smile, and we were happily married. He left his previous apartment and moved in with me. Until we got married, he had been working as a temporary employee, but he began to desire a full-time job. To support my husband's aspirations, I leveraged my skills as an employee of a temp agency and successfully helped him secure an excellent job. Thank you, Maya. I can finally work as a full-time employee. You're the best. I'm so happy. Thank you for believing in me. Let's give it our all for each other, and for the sake of our future child. Hearing my husband's heartfelt gratitude, I felt a renewed sense of determination to work hard. I eagerly anticipated our new life together as a married couple. However, our honeymoon phase took a downturn after just a few months. Both of us became increasingly occupied with work, leaving us with minimal quality time together. I expressed my concerns to my husband, saying, "Hey, I'm not sure if we can sustain this. I'm worried that we're not spending enough time together. Can we make an effort to spend more time as a couple?" I sensed a growing disconnect in our lives, so I sought advice from my husband. Unfortunately, his response was rather straightforward. Well, I guess work comes first. It's inevitable. It seemed that he was prioritizing his job over our relationship. While I understood the importance of his career, I longed for more shared moments of joy with him. Furthermore, my husband had fallen into a routine of returning home late, often around midnight. I couldn't help but express my concern, saying, even though you're busy at work, you come home late, you know. What are you up to after work? Are you meeting someone else? In response, he defensively remarked, why are you doubting me? I'm just busy working overtime. Well, lately, I've been going to the bar alone. That's all. Let me have some freedom. I implored him to consider spending more quality time with me, saying, please, think about making time for us. I'm always here waiting for you to come home. We can't even share dinner anymore. Despite my efforts, my husband's distant demeanor persisted, leaving me yearning for meaningful moments together. A few days later, I finished work earlier than usual and my spirits were high. Coincidentally, my husband had taken a day off, offering us the opportunity to spend quality time as husband and wife. Upon arriving home, I called out enthusiastically, "I'm home." However, there was no response from my husband. Worried that he might have left the house, I decided to check our bedroom. To my astonishment, I couldn't believe my eyes and I let out a scream. In our bedroom, I found my husband with a woman I didn't recognize, both of them unclothed, clearly engaged in an affair. My emotions surged as I demanded an explanation. What? Why are you home early? And why are you creating such a commotion? Unfazed by the situation, my husband retorted, "You should be thanking me. I've been with a fat older woman like you all this time." He displayed no remorse for his infidelity and continued to insult me, making disparaging comments about my appearance. The loving husband I once knew seemed to have disappeared. Confused and hurt, I desperately implored my husband to clarify the situation, but he remained distant, coldly admitting to his affair. He introduced the woman as Ella, his coworker, and casually confessed, "I was having an affair with this woman." His lack of remorse and insults continued, leaving me stunned and emotionally wounded. "You are nothing like her, the overweight and unattractive one. You're aware that you don't meet my standards, right? Oh, and by the way, Ella is expecting a child. You and I are getting a divorce. Yes, it's going to be just him and me. You need to step out of his life." These were the hurtful words I heard as the woman my husband had cheated on me with dropped the bombshell of her pregnancy and our impending divorce. My anger had reached its boiling point, but I knew that engaging with these two individuals wouldn't lead to any resolution. I struggled to keep my composure and replied, "Do you have something to say? I never cheated on you, you know. What are you even talking about? Unless you've recorded this entire conversation, you have no evidence. I can fabricate any story I want and tell everyone." Feeling betrayed in every possible way, I lacked the strength to argue further and reluctantly agreed to the divorce. Before leaving, I couldn't help but express my frustration to my husband, saying, "You think you'll get away with this, but you're mistaken. I promised you'll pay for your actions." My husband dismissed my words, unflinchingly regarding them as those of a sore loser. My anger still burning, I stormed out of the apartment and sought solace at my brother's house. There, I confided in him and together, we hatched a plan for revenge. The following day, I accompanied my brother to my husband's workplace, determined to confront him. "I'm here as we discussed yesterday. I doubt it will make any difference though. I have work to attend to, so make it quick," my husband arrogantly retorted, gazing at my brother's face without recognizing him. My brother calmly introduced himself, saying, "I believe we've met before. I'm Lazaro, the general manager of your own company, Maya's brother." Panic washed over my husband's face as the realization set in. My brother continued, "Despite our limited interactions at work, I'm sure Maya has told you about me. Your behavior is utterly unacceptable. As an employee and a family member, I could have you fired for hurting my sister." My husband was deeply affected by my brother's stern words, and when he lost the will to respond, I spoke up. "My brother witnessed you kissing Ella, and that raised concerns. I left work early yesterday to hire a private investigator to look into your background. Soon, I'll have proof of the affair, and I'll use it to take legal action against you. Be prepared for the consequences." With newfound determination in my eyes, I left the scene, briefly glancing back to see my husband standing there with a pale face. That night, back at my apartment, I drifted off to sleep, but I was awoken by a disturbance. To my surprise, my husband had broken into the room. I had forgotten to retrieve his spare key, allowing him access. "What are you doing? Do you realize what time it is? You're disturbing the neighbors. Leave." I pleaded with him to depart. He retorted, "No way I'm leaving like this. Give me the evidence, the photo data. I'll delete and destroy it." He yelled and glared at me, desperately attempting to escape. My brother rushed in, intervening and restraining my husband. Fortunately, my brother had stayed over at my place to discuss our plan in detail. Additionally, the security guard I had called arrived and assisted in immobilizing my husband completely. "Let go of me. What do you think you're going to do? I'm calling your parents right now. I'll tell them what happened and ask them to come here and take their irresponsible son home." "No, you can't do that." I dialed the number and my husband's parents answered, concerned, "Hello, Maya. Why are you calling so late? Is everything all right? It's about Lazaro and me. We're getting a divorce." "What? What are you talking about? Why all of a sudden?" "I'm sorry for the sudden news, but Lazaro has been having an affair with a coworker and has made abusive remarks towards me. Would you mind listening to this recording?" I played the recording and my husband turned pale. I don't know anything about this. If I had recorded it, there would be evidence, right? You told me that when you caught me cheating on you, remember? I've been carrying the recorder with me ever since that day, so there's no way you can escape this. You should just wait for your parents to arrive. Understanding the gravity of the situation, my husband's parents expressed their apologies. Oh no, we understand now. We're so ashamed of you, Liz Zero. Maya, he caused you so much pain. As his parents, we're truly sorry. We're on our way over to bring our foolish son home. About 30 minutes later, my in-laws arrived. My husband knelt down and tearfully apologized to me in front of his parents. A few months later, I finalized my divorce from Liz Zero. The news of his affair quickly spread throughout his company, and the evidence became public. The company's president called my ex-husband and said, Liz Zero, what you did is unforgivable, and it will severely damage the company's reputation. I'm truly sorry, but I have no choice but to ask you to leave the company. In addition, Ella had already resigned and decided to raise her child on her own, giving up on the idea of marrying my ex-husband. He tried to contact her, but they had lost touch. He was forced to resign from his job and lost both his lover and his career in one fell swoop. He couldn't live on his own anymore because he had to pay alimony to me. The amount of alimony grew considerably due to the photo evidence and the abusive words he had directed at me. I hope he can eventually rebuild his life and lead a more respectable one. Afterward, I met a wonderful man slightly older than me and we got married. I used to prioritize work, but I've since shifted my focus to my family. I manage stress through daily exercise and take better care of myself. Reflecting on my past, I aim to lead a happier life filled with the things that truly make me content.